I am going to use this bucket bucket to set traps in 4 completely different places. A river, a stream, a hill with olive trees and a dry mountain. Everything that falls into them. We will take it home and put it in a huge terrarium divided into 4 sections, each one imitating the exact place where we caught it. But there's a detail that complicates everything. I only have 48 hours to do it all, prepare the terrarium, set the traps and catch something in each one. This is the terrarium we are going to use. Right now it's completely empty, but before going out to set traps, I have to prepare something key. I want one of the sections to be a water area, but without it leaking into the rest. So I'm going to put this sheet as a barrier. I place it at an angle, adjust it to size, and seal it with plenty of silicone. Here it doesn't matter if it looks nice, what's important is that it holds the water and doesn't move a millimeter. I go over all the edges carefully because if it fails, as soon as I fill it with water, the whole terrarium will flood. I leave it well glued, secure it, and let it dry. While the silicone does its job, we will start with the traps. The technique is simple, but there's a trick. Bury the bucket just at ground level so that any reptile, amphibian, or insect that passes by falls in without noticing. Then we cover it with a tile to provide shade and prevent it from getting too hot. And on top, we camouflage it with soil, leaves, and stones to make it invisible. We have 4 stops today, and time is already running. First stop, the river. I walk for a while until I find a small pond that gets trapped when the level drops. Perfect for the trap. Now let's go with something different. Here, in the water part, I am going to place a special trap. For this, I have brought a Coke bottle and I am going to show you exactly how it is prepared. The design is simple, but very effective. A wide entrance so that the animals can get in and a shape that prevents them from getting out. The idea is to leave it partially submerged just where the water is calmer and camouflage it well so that it looks like part of the environment. Here I hope to catch amphibians or some crayfish. Next, the stream, narrower than the river but with crystal clear water and many flat stones where the animals... The sound of the frog can be heard in the distance, and every time you move a branch, you see some bug jump. Here, among the stones, I came across a little frog and tried to catch it for you to see. It escaped from me a couple of times with some incredible jumps, but in the end, I managed to catch it, and it's a beauty. I place it right in an area where the water flows slowly. More. After burying the bucket, we covered it well with soil so it would be invisible. And here my brother, without hesitation, decides to try the river tomatoes. In the end, instead of eating them, he throws them into the trap to provide moisture and a bit of food for the animals that might fall in. With this list, we gather the things and set off towards the third trap, a hill with olive trees, dry land, but between the roots and the stones there are always geckos, lizards and large spiders. I find a spot with soft soil. Let's bury the bucket. Now let's fill the edges of the bucket well with soil. It's done. Come on, put the lid on. Over the form se può fare there la recipe they fall among the bugs and through the hole there and on top we put the tile to provide shade and make it completely unnoticed. This place might hold surprises. Last stop to set traps. We are heading to the driest area where we might get lucky and find a scorpion or some big spider. We start digging. But we came across a huge stone that doesn't let us go deeper. So we laugh it at that height and cross our fingers. Who knows, maybe this trap will surprise us. In this place, I take the opportunity to gather materials. Stones, branches, dry leaf, soil, and in the case of the river and the stream, a bit of water from the place. So now when I set up the terrarium, each section will have the exact smell, texture and environment of where the animals come from. I want them to feel at home. I want them to enter and say, "Kabande, this is my home," just in miniature. With all the traps set, we go home, and now we just have to wait. Dawn breaks, and it's time to find out what happened in these last hours. We have 4 traps set, and only 25 hours to complete everything. Yesterday we already collected all the material from the 4 sites: stones, branches, dry leaves, soil. Now it's time to set up the terrarium, and we're going to do it in parts. I start with the soil area. Here goes the driest ground, with a thick layer of dark, compact soil. I spread it well, pressing with my hands to make it firm. This area is made for geckos, spiders, and lizards. I move on to the second section, the sand one. Here the terrain is lighter, looser. I pour it little by little, letting it fall as if they were tiny dunes. I spread it with mounds and hollows, imitating the dry mountain, so it looks like an exact piece of the real landscape. Here, species that bury themselves or seek warmth in the stones could end up. The third part is the shore, with very tiny pebbles. I place them forming a smooth strip, as if the water had carried all those stones here. I mix small stones with some larger ones, so it doesn't look too perfect and appears natural. This is where frogs, crickets, or smaller bugs could definitely be, right at the boundary between the land and the water. Now, before moving to the water, I want to place a couple of large rocks I found yesterday. I placed them strategically to serve as shelter and shaded areas, and also to give each part of the terrarium more height and relief. But right here is where this huge stick I found in the stream will go. I place it across 2 sections so that the animals can climb or hide underneath. Plus, it gives a really natural touch. It looks like it's straight out of the countryside. And now, I leave the water area for last. An extra is that we are going to add many plants. I place them one after another everywhere, in the corner, next to the rock, close to the edge. The idea is for the terrarium to look like a real piece of nature, full of life and hiding spots. This not only looks impressive, but also provides them with shade, humidity, and safe places to hide. Now the moment of truth. Will the water spill out? But before checking, surprise, we find my pair of geckos mating. If you want a video with them, leave my address in the comments, because honestly, it could be really cool to show their terrarium and how they live.
Well, it seems not. Not a single drop spills. Let's get to it.
The smell and texture are just like the original river, so when we put the animals in, they won't even notice the difference. With this, the terrarium is ready to welcome its new inhabitants. And now it's time to find out what we've managed to catch. Let's go collect the traps. We start with the one from the river, but as soon as we arrived, we realized that the trap from the stream has disappeared. No bottle, no weight, no trace, as if it had never been there. Since we're here, we put the net in the water and catch some little fish that were near the shore, so we don't leave empty-handed. So without wasting time, we go straight to the one with the bucket, the one we buried on the riverbank.
Here I really hope it caught something. Damn, look at this here.
Where? Here it is, on the sand. Have you caught anything?
Yes, wow, they're bugs, you know.
You, a lobster, you. And the toad?
The toad and God, how they killed us there, you know. What madness. And there's a little frog right next to it too. You know, the toad is fed up, you know. It stayed there.
The lobster, and what is that? A beetle or a cricket? I don't know.
Damn, look, a cricket? Look, how do we catch this, huh?
Good question. Well, exactly the same.
We pick up the the trap with the animals and take it to the terrarium. On the way, we come across some turtles, so we stop for a moment for you to see them, because you don't come across this gem in the wild every day. But before stopping at the terrarium, let's continue the route and collect the next traps to see if we've had more luck. We arrive at the next trap and I'm really shocked. Where I left it, there's nothing, no bucket, no tile, not even a mark on the ground. Completely disappeared. I don't know if someone saw it and took it somehow, even though it was super well camouflaged, or if some large animal moved it looking for food. We continue to the last one, and when I see it, I get a chill.
I think I already understand a bit of the situation of what happened.
So the bucket is destroyed, with dirt scattered everywhere. It looks like something tried to escape, or worse, like another animal went in for what was inside. I know that here we won't get anything alive. Let's go to the last trap, which, to be honest, was poorly hidden.
Hey. I hadn't seen it.
Even so, I approach carefully and see movement inside. It seems that, despite not being well covered, something has fallen in.
What is this?
I saw a spider. I don't know where from.
No idea. Well, it fits. A spider, I mean... There it is, so the hand doesn't know either. But is there a jar around?
Yes, Akbar, that's what the jar is for. As you can see, we found quite a few animals. Now we're heading straight to the terrarium to prepare their new home. Once we arrive at the terrarium, we'll start releasing the animals. We begin with the insects, which go directly to their area with the soil and stones we brought from the place where we caught them. Following the crickets, the little frogs go next. They are very adorable, and here you can see one quietly exploring its new home little by little. One of the frogs jumped and almost got away from me. Luckily, I was able to catch it in time and it's back in its area. Now we are going to release the crayfish into its new home. I put it in the dirt area, close to the water, and as expected, it immediately goes in and starts swimming all around the place. Now we are going to release the toad, but first, to be able to catch it, this was my reaction. Oh! Here you see it already released, peeking its little head out calmly. And then, as you can see, it starts taking little walks around the terrarium, exploring at its leisure. The crab has decided to come out of the water and start exploring the land area as if it were inspecting its new territory. Now it's the wall spider's turn. We release it carefully, and to my surprise, it stays still as if observing everything before moving. Finally, I gently drop it into the terrarium, and to my surprise, it stays still looking around, as if it were analyzing everything before moving. A while later, I find it in the same position, as if it had been watching over its new home for hours. After 12 hours have passed, this is how our little animals are doing. Each one has already found its corner, and the terrarium looks like a small world full of life. Here you can see the little spider. The toad has made its own burrow and barely sticks its head out to see what's happening outside. You can see some small insects. They probably came with the sand and have already started moving around the terrarium. The crab occasionally comes out to explore, and here you can see it, going back into the water as if nothing happened. This spider has made his own cave, and that cricket is getting too close. We'll see how this ends. While I return these little animals to their natural habitat, I wanted to tell you something important. This is my first 100% organic video, without AI, recorded and edited with much care. And this is just the beginning. I have even better videos planned. Maybe a 100-day challenge with some species or experiments and adventures with animals, reptiles, aquariums and terrariums. Without your support, this channel cannot grow, and I won't be able to continue bringing this type of content. If you liked it, subscribe, leave your comment and a like. And remember, if no one has told you today, have a very good day.